Okay.
Welcome, Donny Jackson. You are our
Thank
feature for
you.
today, and the way we're structured is we would certainly appreciate if you chose three poems you'd like to share today, performance poems, preferably, and we would love to gather from that, insight how we can improve our poetry performances. So,
Oh,
can't wait to hear from you, Donny Jackson.
I'm looking forward to it, and thanks for the invite. I hope it's helpful.
I think it will be.
I think he wants you to start. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
you're up,
oh,
Donny.
we're
All
jumping
right.
right into it.
Yep, you're
Yeah.
our
Wow.
lead.
I told
Well,
you the
hey,
first half is usually the guest. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We
Well,
want to hear
hey,
the poetry.
everybody. Hey, everybody.
Hmm. If you want to
Uh,
say something first, go right ahead, Donnie. Anything you want to
oh,
say,
I'm
background, anything.
I just grateful for the opportunity. It's lovely to join poets, especially poets I haven't met before. So that's awesome. So I've known Don for a good little bit, so it's nice to have an invite from somebody familiar. And so yeah, I'm open to your questions, but yeah, I hope you enjoy any or all of this. This first piece is called "Still Life." When you ask me how I'm doing, I have to tell the truth, which is me saying, okay, I am the target, and what today is the plan for that, because every day I have to have a plan for that. And today, like any other day of a target, might be the last day. So today, my plan for that is to say yes to being a target, and especially yes to being the nature of target. In other words, to not move. Because moving isn't what true targets do. They wait to be aimed upon and fired at and hit. Targets are not meant to be moved, they're meant to be hit. I will not resist being a target today. I will be unmoving and risk being hit because I'm empty of move these days. I'm completely out of run. Because some people think the true nature of target is to be stopped from moving. Yes, that JB reminded us, until the lions have their own historian, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. And he could have been talking about targets too, who don't get to tell the story. Like, okay, it's still hunters in this case too, who don't get to say, who get to say what targets are. But no, I am specifically not a hunter, but I am telling the story today anyway. And like I said, true targets don't move. But the way I'm going to don't move is different than freeze, like the hunters sometimes say, even when you couldn't possibly do anything else because of chokeholds or knees or already fired. My don't move today is because it's you who asked me. And I don't want you to see me run or be hit because it's you who asked me. I am saying my don't move today is to be a rest on a page of sheet music, the possibility of song. In the case of today, sonata for two instruments, me, you. I am not moving because I am a rest. That part of the sonata, which is, yes, made of movement. See what's happening? I am a rest, that part of the sonata where there is a silence next to a note that makes the note more note than it would be without the silence next to it. This is how I am don't move today. For you, especially for when you ask me how I'm doing, and I can say I am not moving and I will not be hit because I changed my mind. I am not a target today. I am the quiet part of a song for you. The quiet that makes the song more song. I am not moved. I am not fired upon. I am not hit. I am not target. Don't move with me. Thanks all. It's cool to see applause. Uh, so yeah, that's our first one. And that's on a previous album, and uh, we have an album out now called Fatherly. I sent Don the the link. It's on all of the places where you can hear stuff, either YouTube or the places where you pay to hear stuff. Like Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music or Tidal. Anyway, you can hear. And the entire album is dedicated to my dad. So if you're feeling, in that kind of mood, have a listen. This poem ain't on it. This poem is called "The Night Lady Diana Died." We entered the apartment after arguing about yet another everything, and we have to adjust the silence to mean something else. We do. Feels different, because it is. And why is the TV on anyway? We refuse the monastery in our faces, untake the vow we made in the car. We were just in the car, now we're here. Diana and Dodie thought they would do that tonight too, and now I have to hope your tear will tell me which branch of you it works for, whether it is leftover me or fresh princess. Either way, I cannot watch you paint yourself in anything invisible right now. When I haven't yet told you, when you enter a room, it is always like seeing you for the first time. And I don't know how to ask you not to do that. And I definitely don't want you to stop. Two people in love just died in a car, and I haven't said what I would miss if cars have more rampage in mind. I should tell you to never be in another car and how mornings should be when I want you to. Oh my God, please just shut up and let me memorize the way your hair can rest so lightly on my chest. It mimics a disembodied blue. It is not a sensation. It is an act of war on my belief in death. I want you to stop talking about Diana and Dodie in the car and the driver in the tunnel. I am trying not to believe in death right now. I want you to look at me as if you are afraid that the impact of their car has somehow dislodged my understanding of the servitude of your lower back to my left hand in particular, when my right is measuring the padded room banshee of your heart. I want you to want not to lose me. Okay, your car keys are under my spell and will not tell you where they are. Everyone should stop driving this very second. This is the perfect moment for you to tell me your hush is shaped to the specific outline of me, and not a soul can hear your whisper unless I am present. If you say sorry or ask me to, I'll throw the television out the window. Say something new to me, like the world will end in a tunnel if you don't. And I promise I will make you feel weightless when I say your name in the dark. Do not say sad again. I refuse to feel guilty for claiming it before I walked into this room. I am trying to tell you, I have engraved your secrets into my fingertips so I can wave your story into the wind until it is a falcon unchased by anything. There are flashing lights all over where they were. And in my rant, your keys have escaped my thrall. Diana and Dodie are dead. And you are tearless and you are leaving. And this is a city of cars. And unlike you, I am afraid. But you are not afraid of crashing. So tonight, I know you will drive. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Super sad. But you know what? I always like to end on something happy. So I'm going to end literally on a poem called Joy. So, and it's not a misleading title. It's not ironic. It's not anything but that. Anyway, I'll just read the poem because that's the most important thing. I'm clear about this part. It's the laugh. You jumping into it, a room full of plastic balls when you laugh. You jump into the catch of the room. Into the glee that there are plastic balls, you jump into color when you laugh. And this won't sound right, but it is an unburied your laugh. That embedded piece freed, as if someone was an original Lucy Bones looking for it for a long time. That piece, an ancient look for that explains the beginning of you. And where I am stupid is thinking the silly that brushes you clean is what you want me to see and not the you. Looked for bones, but found amber instead, holding and alive, and it's still for the reveal of it. You laugh like you know what to save golden. You laugh like amber. You are trying to tell me to press my head to your earth, dig where you laugh when you show me where you are buried. Your laugh is older than those who birthed you. It carries who you are supposed to be. They all see you. How could they not? But nobody has been looking for you. Amber, you. I am here to look for you. I want to look for you. I am here to see your eyes as a dislocated knight wandering, but not lost. A diva darkness, born to dress in stars. I am here to look up at you as you liquid tighten around me so I don't forget you are teeth. The shrub loose from the ground that learned how to swim in heat. Your fingers, aren't they the thinnest monks and quiet on me? So the last thought before I sleep is, yes, she could lay heel on me. You know, somebody means to draw a circle but stops short and leaves a gap. We still know what it is. And, well, you almost kissed me, almost circled like that once. And I vowed to teach us both we owe ourselves to complete a thing. So here we are, perhaps. It is not too late to tell you when you plastic ball jump, laugh amber in my day, star-dressed woman you. I could weep until tomorrow wakes to a new ocean and ask you what name you've picked for me. Thank you all for your attention. Don, thanks for the invite. I look forward to hearing you all. Everybody's still on mute, so oh, here we go. Somebody's off mute.
Yeah, everybody feel free to unmute and say whatever you like.
I'll just jump in since co-host.
Hey, John.
Donny Jackson, I gotta say, thank you very much for sharing. You have a gifted voice. You have a gifted voice, and your poetry is impeccable. So your pace is right on time because it's so rich. You really give the listener a chance to savor and appreciate the exquisite quality of your poetry.
Well, thank you for that.
Your composure, I mean, I would like to think that came with time because you have a composure that makes my soul a little uneasy. I want to put on the composure that you have, the patience, because it's remarkable. And you really, how long have you been writing for, Donny?
Oh, wow. Thank you for those words. I really appreciate it. I've been writing all my life. You know, when I was in the third grade, I wrote a poem that got submitted by the teacher to a poetry contest in the city. I won $2, and so I know.
So you're a professional writer early on. That's what they say. If you make money, you professional.
That's right. At age 8. And so yeah, that was the beginning of my love for it. But literally, I've been writing all my life, and I work at it. I've worked at it, you know, for the last half of my life, you know, and it's important to continue to work on it, you know. And I appreciate you mentioned, you know, the comfort in performing, but I was a shy kid, so there's hope for all of us. If I as a painfully shy kid can be comfortable talking to you all in this way, then anybody could do it, because I was clinically shy as a kid, and you know, things opened up, and you know, it got better. And so yeah, so that's kind of the genesis of that style. It's just one of those things that evolved over time.
Right on. Do we have any feedback, affirmations for Donny Jackson from everybody else?
I like the natural way he was reading. Could hardly tell. I mean, couldn't tell that he was reading it from paper. It was very good.
Well, thank you for that.
I echo that sentiment. I would call that conversational versus what I guess the trend in spoken word is the histrionics, the razzle dazzle, the scream and holler.
Yeah.
And you allowed that calm demeanor to convey the sincerity and the depth of what you were saying without hitting people across the forehead with it, you
Yeah. Well,
know.
thanks for noticing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are already listening. I don't have to yell. So, we're having a chat here. Mine happens to be, it's something I wrote already. You know.
Coming
Advice
from
right there.
When you
somebody who likes to yell. Donnie, do you have any poems where the cadence does elevate? There is an ebb and flow, there is a rise and fall. Do you have poems where of rage? I mean, there's certainly a simmering undercurrent of rage in Target, or the first one you read, but it was so composed, it was pretty subtle. And then it ended with like this peaceful wisdom, that culminated in like transcendence of the particular situation. But do you have any poems? I mean, I first of all, I got you on Apple Play, so I can't wait to listen to you when I'm on my elliptical later.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
Fatherly, yeah. Is it spoken word CD or set to
Yeah.
music? That's the
No,
assumption.
there's no music. It's just me talking.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Well, there's a
yeah.
musicality just in there. It's soothing. I mean, soothing doesn't even justify your voice, but it's along those lines.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I try to make sure that soothing doesn't lull into boring. But I
Ever.
do have pieces that are more intense. I mean, where they need to be. I'm not a fan of kind of hitting a high note and just kind of staying there for the entirety of the poem. And that's a lot. That's a lot to take as a listener, and
Right
and then
on.
it's a lot to do as a performer. And it's really not generally how drama comes at you.
Yeah.
It usually comes at you in stages, and so I try to honor that in the performance of it, and not keep it at a high screech level,
Right on.
for the entire poem.
One of the things I noticed, Donnie, because I've been exposed to considerable amount of performance poetry over the years, spoken word, hip hop, things like that. And you have such an original style. It's so original, and I love that. I mean, it doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard before.
Well, thank you. That's a high compliment. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you told us a little bit how it evolved. I'm sure that's your own history and mystery story. Love to learn more about it at some point. But yeah, I got to say that it's so refreshing to hear somebody that it's like nothing you've ever heard before, and you really graced us with just quality with a capital Q. I mean, it was just beautiful work. Yeah, thank you,
Well,
Donnie
thank you.
Jackson.
Well,
Any
thanks
other
for.
words for Donnie Jackson before we let other folks come in and share?
I think our viewers are of the same mind as me. We are fascinated by how this quiet guy, this shy guy, went public. I mean, if you could tell a little bit of that story, I think we would love to
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm happy to. Yeah, it's not that arcane. It's not really magical. But one of the things that helped me was performing. I got cast in a play when I moved to Philadelphia for graduate school from Pittsburgh, where I grew up, and but as a writer, I was fascinated by the performance aspects of it. So I went to this audition with the idea that this was research in order to write about it later on. But lo and behold, I got the part, and so so now so now I'm not going to pull out of the play that I just got cast in, and so through the course of that, I got much more comfortable performing, as it turns out, and so. Turning that performance, taking somebody else's words and trying to make them vivid. I just, kind of applied those tools, to my own work and started performing that publicly, and it was a good fit, because I knew the writer, and then I knew what he meant, and so being able to convey that to an audience was a joy. It was a real treat for me to be able to perform my own work without without fear of misinterpreting, because I'm not going to misinterpret myself, you know. And so yeah, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with it over the years, and I'm always trying to improve. It just like with any art, you're never finished. I don't take for granted any of the things that I've done, or compliments or accolades or what have you. It's an art, and therefore uh, deserves to be tended to.
Mm, I love that. That's something we should wake up with in the morning every day. It's an art and it deserves to be tended to. Yeah. Mm.
There's a part B to that question.
Oh,
And
which
that,
was?
part B of the no, I didn't give you the part B yet.
Oh, okay. I thought I missed something. Okay.
Yeah, there is a part B. I just haven't revealed it. But it's because, I maybe it's just for my own curiosity. I'm just curious how you came to be a Los Angeles poet.
Oh, I didn't move here. I didn't move here because of that part of the art. I moved here because I wanted to work in the creative arts, you know, television or film. That
Hmm.
was my goal, and I ended up, you know, that's a longer story for not for here, but I ended up working in television, you know, and that was awesome. But yeah, I moved here because I my previous life in Pennsylvania, I was a psychologist. I'll always be a psychologist, but I was working as a psychologist because that's what my doctorate is in. That's what my training is in. And so, but it wasn't fulfilling in the ways that I wanted to be fulfilled as a creator, as an artist. And so I gave that life up literally and moved to LA. And the goal was to you know work as a you know a filmmaker or writer or you know something you know in the creative arts. And you know I stumbled into you know documentary TV, and that's where I've remained for the last literally 25 years. So yeah, that's
But
kind of.
and then the poetry happens.
And then, well, the poetry was always something I was doing as I mentioned because I was a kid, since I was a kid. But I perform. You know, there were a lot more venues to perform in Los Angeles than you know where I left from, I wasn't performing in Philadelphia during that time. And so yeah, it was like a lovely playground, you know, to be able to you know perform in front of lots of different audiences in terms of and lots of different you know venues. And so so yeah, I became kind of a staple in that circuit of performing spaces. But more importantly than as a performer, than as a I've heard a lot more poems than I've ever performed, and that's the more important part for me in terms of actually attending you know an open mic is to hear other poets, not to just you know do my piece and then you know be gone. Yeah, I want to hear what other people are doing, you know, and that's important. That's why it's a collective space. It's not meant to just be a showcase for a performer who then disappears, you know, and doesn't listen.
Yeah, no, no true words ever spoken. It's
Mhm.
kind of, I like to think it's one of our qualities that this such a large area, the Los Angeles area. There's so many scenes because of that,
Oh my
right?
God, yeah. Yeah, and it's evolved, you know, over time. You know,
Mhm.
certain venues come and go. I mean, the Poetry Lounge has been around for over 24 years now, which was kind of the first home, you know, for me. Not the first place I performed, but the first place I performed regularly. But there are you know venues all over the place, and what's been lovely to watch is how even though there are certain you know kind of bedrock things like you know the Poetry Lounge, but there are also you know venues that kind of specify you know what kind of audience they're attracting. So you can go to an all Filipino uh, space or mostly Filipino space, or you can go to a Spanish language space, or you can go to a gay and lesbian space. You know, so it's both opened up and gotten you know granular in terms of its possibilities, and it's lovely to see.
I've got one last question I want to ask you. I'm
Sure.
being so self-indulgent here. I must apologize because I want to know more about Donny Jackson.
No, I
But this
appreciate the
question is going to
curiosity.
flip that. It's going to flip that because you
Uh-oh.
said something so salient and important, and that is to listen to others. And so I'm just curious also if you have any favorite performers or poets that you enjoy.
Oh, look,
You want
I
to
go
want
way. No, I
to.
go way back. I mean, Nikki
Mhm.
Giovanni was certainly the person, the poet who inspired me the most, and is still around and still writing and still vibrant. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't, read some Nikki Giovanni or listen to some Nikki Giovanni. And if you have, listen to some of the new stuff. As I said, I've been listening to her and reading her for a really long time, but she's as vibrant as ever. Rudy Francisco, in terms of San Francisco, I mean, San Diego based poet who I met at the Poetry Lounge, as a matter of fact.
He's a total legend. Yeah.
Yeah, he's and he
Mhm.
tours not just the country, he tours North America. He's going to be in Toronto not too long from now, and he's all over the place. Rudy's just first of all, Rudy's a lovely human being. If you do go to see him, please introduce yourself, because you'll have a sense that the guy that you hear reading poems is the same guy who's shaking your hand, and that's nice when there's no disconnect between the icon and the human. um and Rudy's one of the best examples I can think of that. So
Mhm.
yeah, but yeah, so yeah, look for Rudy San Francisco. I'm sorry, Rudy Francisco. Look for him online, because he publishes his schedule pretty regularly, so you can kind of see where he's going to be somewhere near you.
I used to show his videos to my students to turn them on to performing their poetry.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
he's a good person to do that with, because Rudy's it seems effortless, how good he is, but he is very, very accessible. You want to listen to more. He's a likable poet. Not everybody's likable. I don't consider myself likable. I consider myself listenable if I do it right. But you know, Rudy, Trejay Power, she is one of the most likable human beings on stage I've ever seen. So please look her up. Um, but anyway, but I think there's a joy in the search of it. You'll find out what you like, what you don't like, what you're curious about, what you aspire to, what you like but have no desire to model yourself after. I think it's just a fun exploration, for creatives to do. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, I'm very satisfied. Thank you so much, Donnie.
Sure.
Patrick, good. You
Yeah.
want to turn it to us? Yeah.
Yep. Well, I don't want to be ignorant here. I would like to retain some of that. So, um, Donny Jackson, Nikki Giovanni. I've heard the name. I'm sure I've come up across a poem or two. Is there a poem that you would recommend to get back engaged with Nikki Giovanni, to really get immersed in some of I when I've heard of the name, it's legendary. So
Mm.
I think that's the track we're on. What poem or two would you recommend if I were to look up Nikki Giovanni?
Oh, I would go to Ego Tripping, because
Ego tripping.
yeah, because it's a really fun piece, but it's full of great admiration for language. Uh, and yeah, it's just a fun ride. So I would choose that one as an entry point. Um,
Beautiful. Thank you, Don Jackson. And then I wanted to make sure, and then I heard another prominent name being mentioned, Rudy. Will you guys remind me the last name of Rudy? Forgive
oh,
me.
Francisco.
Rudy Francisco. Okay.
Yeah, and he
I'll
has
look up Rudy.
he has I think 3 books out now. Um, so yeah, I would recommend going to your local bookstore, or going to Amazon and picking up one of those, or all of those. I think Rudy's an addictive read, uh, because it is at the present, to the reader. Some poets, some writers are a challenge to readers. It's a dare almost. I dare you to like this. It's so hard, you know. Rudy's not that guy. He's like, no, I want you to love this. I want you to come into this very comfortable world, even if I'm talking about uncomfortable things sometimes. But the way that he's talking about it is accessible and beautifully so. And so yeah, so I invite you to start there.
Thank you. Very generous of you. It'd be great to study. And then one last question. The Poetry Lounge. Have you been there lately? Because
I have not been there lately. I haven't been there since the pandemic shut down. But you know, it's still thriving. It's still going on, and it will outlive all of us. You know, and I suspect. So it's still there every Tuesday. So I would invite you to stop by. It's right there on Fairfax Avenue, right next to the high school. I think it's 544 North Fairfax, if I remember the address correctly. But it's right next, you know, the closest cross street would be Melrose and Fairfax. And again, it's right next to the high school, so it's kind of hard to miss.
I've been there a couple of times. I keep trying to get Don to go with me. I'm trying to get a partner to go with me.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah, it's at Greenway Court Theater.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, okay. Well, to segue, who I don't know who arrived first. Who would like to go first? We can always go that way. Who would like to perform first and follow the great Donny Jackson? All right, Joe Camhi.
You gotta unmute, Joe. Unmute.
I have an 8-minute story. Is that too long?
8 minute.
Yeah.
I think we could provide for 8 minutes. Bring it.
Yeah. This old Billy's money. I've been working on it for quite a while. The river was flowing, the winter winds blowing, the twilight was splashing, the clouds like dark blood. I loaded my rifle real quiet and careful and crouched on my knees by some trees in the mud. I knelt by the river, caressing the trigger, in time with the water caressing the shore. Cold metal caressing, cold feelings depressing. Susanna, I'll never caress anymore. The shadows were merging, the sunlight submerging, a whippoorwill wailing away in the trees. A sickening feeling, just waiting and kneeling, and feeling the clammy cold mud on my knees. Old Billy was coming. Old Billy was running. He seemed to be running as quick as he could. The old man was wheezing, he hardly was breathing. Although for his age, he ran pretty damn good. Been years since I'd seen him, this broken old Cajun. The closer he got, the more rotten the reek. I stood and surprised him. Oh, how I despised him. I pointed my gun, then I started to speak. Now listen, old Billy. You owe me blood money, you sorry old coon ass. I'm sorry to say your life ain't worth nothing. Your money's worth something. You're going to pay, or you're going to pay. I dreamed a long time that you'd pay for your crime while locked up in prison. I heard what you did. Now go get your money. You're going to pay me. You buried Susanna, drowned Katie, our kid. He stared, he smiled, eyes blazing and wild, just laughing at death as if life were a joke. Then suddenly sneering, eyes angry and tearing, and shaking his fist in my face as he spoke. Who's saying I killed her? Don't pull the damn trigger, and damn me to hell where I'm going to go. I'll tell you the story. You shoot, you'll be sorry. I'm innocent, Joe. If you listen, you'll know. I'll teach you a lesson. And no, I won't listen. You listen, old Billy. You pay me or die. See, Kate was my daughter you dropped in the water. The tears on her grave are the waves that pass by. What tears? He was mumbling and grunting and grumbling and grinning, displaying his broken brown teeth. How much is she worth? Our blood blended by birth. My money is as green as a funeral. You evil buffoon, you damn oil tycoon, you laugh as if murdering babies is funny. You vicious disgrace, I should blow off your face. I'll shoot you right now and forget your damn money. Forget my damn money. That wouldn't be easy because, Joe, we both know there's so much to forget. You get satisfaction, no business transaction. You kill me, that's something we both may regret. You put down your weapon. You'll hear how it happened. That's right. Set it down, and I'll tell you the tale. I'll kill you, old Billy. No, Joe, you won't kill me. You'd rather be rich than be rotting in jail. Susanna, my daughter, you chased her. You caught her. She's not what you wanted. You wanted my wealth. You used her, abused her, depressed her, confused her. You gave her a child and ruined her health. You married her, left her a child. You left her for whoring and drinking. You went far astray. Susanna gave birth to a baby who's worth far more than the money you want me to pay. Oh, sure, I went whoring when life got too boring, but I loved your daughter far more than you did. I'm weak and I'm bad, but you know, Dad, you're evil, old Bill. Why'd you kill my poor kid? The baby was crying. Susanna was dying. Her heart was diseased, Joe. A heart that you broke. She sat by the river, her feet in the water. Your name was the very last word that she spoke. She sat by the river, her feet in the water, just holding the baby and cursing your name. She knew you were cheating. She kept on you repeating your name. You were gone. If not you, who's to blame? How about the damn jury that said I was guilty for stealing a car to come home to my wife? They locked me away for 9 years till today. I swore, Bill, you'll pay with your money or life. It's my fault you slaughter your daughter's own daughter. You murdered my daughter because your daughter died. That's not how it happened, Joe. Before your wife died, I was there by her side. She sat by the river, her feet in the water. Her heart was diseased, Joe. Her heart you destroyed. Susanna was dying and baby cake dying, crying. Go back to the booze and the whores you enjoyed. I'll go when I'm rich. Rich, Bill, you son of a bitch. Or dig you a ditch if you choose not to pay me. Oh, Billy, you coon ass, I'll kill you as soon as you say you won't pay. So you better obey me. You think I believe you won't shoot me and leave as soon as I pay you the money you crave? I know I get shot if I pay you or not. You're poor, so I lie in my grave. Joe, what are you saying? What game are you playing? Bill, what are you saying? What game are you playing? You're claiming you'd rather get shot than be saved? You must have gone crazy refusing to pay me. You think that you're brave, but you're really depraved. Just pay me, okay? I'll be gone on my way. I'll leave right away. I'll be miles from here. I'll leave, Bill. I swear it. I'm broke. I can't bear it. I fear it. Just pay, and I will disappear. Get down on your knees, Joe, and beg me. Say, please. Maybe I pay you, and maybe I don't. I drop to my knees. Please pay me, but please, I'll leave if you do, but you're dead if you don't. The touch of cold metal, a rifle's cold muzzle in back of my head, and then Bill said, stay still. You move and you're dead. Who's behind me? I said. I pleaded, please pay me, don't murder me, Bill. That doesn't make sense, Joe. It's just self-defense. I knew you was here, so I set up a trap. Now shoot him, Bill said. He looked over my head. I'm sick of this man. I'm sick of his crap. I figure I'm dead, I said, turning my head to see who was standing there holding a gun. A girl stood there sadly. Bill yelled at him madly, girl, shoot, he's the one, now get the job done. I'm sorry, granddaddy. She told him so sadly, tears fell from the little girl's little brown eyes. I know that he's bad, but I can't kill my dad. Oh, Billy, those rumors you drowned her were lies. When you was in jail, boy, I told a tall tale. Made sure that you were told that your daughter was dead. I'd figured you'd hear it and never come here, and never come near black hair on her kid. She dropped the old rifle and hugged me so careful, so tearful, so tiny, so pretty, so sweet. I looked up at Billy, his checkbook, his money. I pushed her away. And I stood in defeat. Been years since I seen him, my beautiful daughter inherited riches. I pissed mine away. I hear that she lives with her husband and kids. It seems that I got me a visit to pay. That's it. Hello? Can I? Okay. Oh, no, please.
We're just getting our sounds back on. Oh my.
Well, I will say this, Joe Camhi, from the handful of poems I've heard you read, you definitely have your own style and almost genre. It's very theatrical, and this one was a little harder for me to follow, just because for me the auditory, the volume, did not come clear, and it started to move fast. But I did pick up some of it. I don't know if other people had that difficulty.
A little sound
Um,
issue, yeah.
yeah, there was some sound inconsistency, but
Was that to me or the video?
I don't know if you were projecting loud enough from your mic
I think
or
it's
not.
technical. I think it's more technical, actually.
Technical?
Yeah, because it was cutting out
Mm.
ever so briefly. Yeah, but not
But
enough
there was,
that I couldn't get most of it.
yeah, but there was a
95% of it.
lot. But wouldn't you agree, Don, there was a lot that was remarkable? The different characters, the theme, um, tone, and the rhymes, you know, going in and out of dialogue were impressive to follow at times. So,
I'm
um,
always amazed by storytellers how they even can come up with this stuff in
oh
such
yeah,
detail.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
in real.
Oh,
It feels like it's in real time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's flooded with tremendous talent, and but in terms of to follow the actual story and content, it was a little unfortunate that we couldn't hear you as clearly today, Joe. But I'll never forget the one about Candy. That one was epic, and you really you really are an entertaining performance poet. So we appreciate your effort today. Oh, looks like we might have lost him for a sec. Hopefully he comes back.
You might be working on the sound there.
There you go.
Yeah, so we'll have to move on anyway. We've got about 15 minutes for three of us, four of
Oh,
us
he's back.
possibly.
He's back with us. I was feeling all emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah,
He's back.
probably
Okay.
working on his audio.
Sorry, I missed everything because my screen froze, and then I was kicked off. I had a terrible connection.
Yeah, connection.
We hear you a little better now. Thank you for coming back, Joe Camhi. Um, am I pronouncing your
Oh,
last name
now
right?
you hear me better than Camhi.
Camhi. Camhi.
Now you hear me better than before?
A
Yeah, you
little
sound better
better.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have stopped it, huh? Next time we'll stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough choice. It was next time we'll, as Don says, we'll stop
Yeah.
it from the get go. Okay, but thank you, Joe Camhi. Mark States, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you. Carrying weight. Walking down these weather-beaten and grease-stained wooden stairs, feeling the pliability of each board underfoot, and listening to every clomp and creak in response to the weight of me. Meanwhile, my shoulders feel the weight of work tasks and things on my mind, and likewise creak and wilt under the strain. At the base of the staircase is concrete, which creates a solid path from building to parking lot with shrubbery, trees, and dirt on either side. The concrete feels nothing of the weight of the people, pets, and handcarts that step upon it. although the concrete path itself dips in the middle, perhaps because its weight is too much a burden to bear for the dirt ground underneath it. When it rains, a deep puddle forms there, a puddle people hesitate to step into. Now, standing at base of staircase, I notice a squirrel at trunk of nearby tree. Sitting at trunk of tree, squirrel notices me and runs toward me in that squirrely happy dance way like a puppy greeting its human. Hiya, squirrel, I exclaim. And squirrel stops halfway, starts digging in the dirt. Squirrel retrieves an acorn, which it places in its mouth before standing up to look me in the eye. Then squirrel darts up tree and onto a branch to begin gnawing. A branch at the second floor height where I had been a minute before. When I had been on the second floor a minute before, there had been much more weight on my shoulders.
Switching back on the mics. Here we go.
Okay, I'll repeat it. I said I like that. I like that a lot, Mark states. The so unique content wise, unlike anything I've ever heard before. And of course your voice is always unique and original. And definitely something to ponder on, and just the relativity of things. That's what I got out of it. And I liked how you went in and out of different, there was, you kind of went in and out of rhyme, which I liked a lot. So definitely makes one think. And I think it's a compassionate piece.
I'll say one
Thank
thing
you.
that I've said before. I don't know what it is, but Mark, he really looks into our souls when he's performing. I mean, like nobody else does, man. He's really right at you. You got a skill there. That's I don't see too many people can do that.
Mhm.
Good
I
stuff.
can feel it. I can feel it too. Thank you, Mark States.
Thank
Any
you.
more affirmation and feedback for Mark States' performance?
Rose nods in affirmation. You can say something if you like, Rose, but you're muted. Yeah.
I say I enjoy it very much. Very good.
Thank you.
These are great performers, huh, Rose?
Yes.
Not like you and me, we're kind of shy. We have shorter poems. You'll see in just a few moments because we have to decide who's going first, Rose or me.
You go first.
Oh man, why did I give you a choice? All right, well, just to prove the case in point now, I have a poem that for me is a challenge because it's long for me. All right, so I'm going to try. I got to push myself. Here we go. This is the poem that I did not read at the reading yesterday for the reasons I just told you. It's called Questions from the Broad. Oh, man. Did you forget to wash the dishes? Wish a bouquet of shiny flowers was waiting for you upstairs? Do you like to immerse yourself in comics? How about other media? Jackie O, Marilyn Monroe, Cowboy Elvis, and more wanted men? Would you find pleasure in saluting an artistic flag? Lose yourself in blocks of primary colors? Have you looked into the eyes of a single man? Did his beard match the hair on his head? Was his forward stare much like your own? Have you ever dreamed of having three penises too? Is the fire burning in your cabin intentional? Why does a tear fall on your cheek? Are you worthy of a crown as well? When you glance in the mirror, do you feel like a fake? Remember when you could peer up at a dining table? Ever vomited money? Suckled the teats of society? Does your jaw slacken at America in bright lights? with the shadows of the oppressed, including you? Who doesn't adore a nice bite in the neck? How long have our heads been hanging upside down? Why do we construct a god out of darkness, missing a hand, featuring only one good eye? Is a dead fish on newspaper a true sign of our culture? You crouch and ponder the meaning of what lies on the ground. Would you create a poem on your tombstone? Or, excuse me, for your tombstone? Prefer it in running signage on the wall of a museum? Where have you declared out loud your needs in 2 words or more? Why does this wig have a hole in it? Can a brain take in all the peering pupils, pursed lips, toothy grin? Even once been lined up with friends under a gun? Etched a message to aliens on beach sand? Saluted helmeted leaders of history because they were just actors? Stand on the shore, waiting for a ship to drop anchor. Or simply think outside in your purple nailed open sandals. Are you an exhibit walking past the side of a colossal building? That was tough for me. Those are all things in the museum, you know, you probably knew that.
Well, I'll jump in. Don, I have to say, that's got to be one of my favorite poems that I've ever heard you read. And we've known each other a long time. I've heard you read a lot of poems. I thought you revealed I don't know, maybe I made assumptions, but I thought it was a very emotionally naked poem, and you revealed a lot about yourself in the poem. I thought you engaged the reader with the questions in a remarkable way, so we were hanging on every question, both pondering it and anticipating the next one, curious what it would be. So I thought it was an excellent performance poem that you read quite well. And like I said, just for some reason, it's one of my favorites that you've ever read.
I don't know whether to like that or not.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that. You're great at these exercises, John. You like and that's just I just admire that you can do these. You can go into a museum and come out with a poem like that.
Hell of a museum.
Must have been. Well, you've
was
done that
very
before.
impressed.
You did another great one about a
Yeah.
museum recently too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like museums. Hey, Rose.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoy your poem very much too. Okay, so it's my turn.
Yes, it's your
Okay,
turn, Rose.
I'll just share. All right, let me go back. Okay, I'll read this one. Dear cousin. Oh, okay. Actually, I should do this. Sorry. Okay, dear cousin, your sudden demise has overwhelmed my heart with sadness. Tonight, again, I could not fall asleep. Your image so vivid in my memory. Thought of you tumble in my mind. Those days we grew up together. You were only 2 years older, but I thought you were brilliant, knowing so many things. I remember our conversations and how you liked to tease me, which stirred up mixed emotions. One summer night, you pointed to the sky, telling me you saw angels waving at us from a star, and asked me to wave back. I looked but could not see them. You told me many things that seemed like magic and left me baffled, but in my admiration, I believed them. It took years before I realized they were just your tricks that you used to make fun of me. But now, again at night, looking up at the sky. I wish You were one of those angels waving to me from a star.
Wow. Very emotional ending there.
Thank you.
Mhm. Well read. She reads so well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Beautiful
Thank
poem.
you. Yeah.
I appreciated how each and every line ended
Mhm.
strongly. The tone of the words did not taper off or get quiet, but the
Mhm.
final word carried some weight in the way you read it aloud. And I wanted to point that out. That is a skill I appreciate very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay.
Patrick, do you want to take us out? Or...
I would like to, I really would, but we have Lourdes gone. I don't want to,
Oops.
I don't know if she's just observing. Want to give her a chance.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Lourdes. Welcome.
Hi, we're here to support Donnie
Ah,
and listening.
okay. Just listening to that? Okay. Thank you, Lourdes. Okay, thank you, Don. All right, then my piece should close us out right about 5:01. Hopefully we don't go over. It's one I'm practicing. It's called string theory. It goes like this. Keep my book because I'm still practicing it, just in case I gotta look at it. But let's see. All right. In the fullness of life, we are blessed to play our part, to have roles that we identify with, that are important to us. Then, in life, in the convergence of factors, we become entangled in knots of delusion and confusion, disillusioned, frustrated, overwhelmed, despairing. And depression rolls in like a cold shadow that breathes, breathes, nothing left to seize. We grieve. Life becomes too much. Irritable, sensitive to touch, headbutting, cutting, idle, even suicidal. We lose our grit. We lose our guts. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. Illness sets in. Every move takes a tremendous amount of energy. It feels as though we are walking in molasses. Depression begins to cut our ties. We find ourselves alone, where we might have had many roles to play and passions to pursue. There is nothing left to do. Life seems sad. We become the illness and lose sight of who we truly are. We fear we might never be that way again. It eats away at our heart. Everything feels hopeless. We recede into our cave. We try to fathom what went wrong. We are plagued and ashamed with stigma until a place opens in our heart and we begin to see the light. And there's a life we must reclaim. It's not that we're looking for life to be the same. We just want to feel sane. Players in the game. Like being rescued at sea, we see the string that used to connect us to the world. Slowly but surely, we reach back and pull and rise above the abyss. We find that what seemed like the end was actually the beginning. We are better for the experience. We have been through hell. We have newfound compassion. We care. Let me see. Oh, we have wisdom to share. We have faced the end. We've re-engaged with friends. We find that we can lead because we know where we have been. We grasp our fate. We reintegrate. With faith in the Lord, we co-create. We know where we want to go. Far from the darkness and the despair, into the light. We can take you there. Well, I can tell I'm still practicing, but I really enjoyed this chance to perform with folks who did such excellent work today and give me what was the great quote from Donny Jackson? It is an art. It deserves to be tended to. So I'm gonna keep tending to this that I'm practicing. And I want to thank everybody for having the courage and generosity of spirit to share their work and their talent with us. Donny, you were amazing. You let us off and learned so much from you. And I want to thank Don for always recruiting the finest features, and you are among the most impressive I've ever seen, Donny. And I just got to say, can't wait to get to Fatherly. I hope everybody checks out
Thanks so much.
Fatherly. Yeah. And any last words, Donny? You could close us out.
Well, just thanks for your generosity of listening, because that's a gift, and I appreciate all of you. Yeah, I put the link to the new album in the chat, so I hope you get a chance to check it out. You can listen to it for free on YouTube or any other streaming opportunities available. But thanks again for having me.
Absolutely.
Well, and let me add one quick note here, because I don't know if
Yeah.
Lourdes was here for the whole thing. So if you missed any part of this, I'm happy to tell you, Lourdes, that this has been recorded and will be up on YouTube soon, very soon.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I want to thank everybody. Y'all remind us this is food for the heart and the soul. And I wish it was generosity that made us listen, but we hungry. We love this thing, and we eat it up. So thank you, Donny Jackson, for giving us such a quality sustenance here. And thank you, everybody.
My pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday fun day, and we'll see you on the 3rd. This is the first or third?
No. Yeah,
This is
November.
the 3rd. So we're gonna be
You're right.
the first Sunday of
First Sunday of November, which is the 3rd.
which is the 3rd. Okay, so
okay.
it worked out. And I encourage everybody to come back, feature, or those who have been here regularly. We love to see you come back and practice with us as we hone our skills. One love, everybody. Take care, y'all.